We will discuss about pathogenesis. Pathogenesis means stages in the development of disease, or what is the relationship between host and parasite. Now it means that in the development of disease there are various stages. The first stage is that there must be a contact between host and parasite. But before that, it is important that disease will appear in which conditions. So there are three important parameters in the disease development. The first important parameter is environment, host and parasite. That makes a triangle. So there is at the base there is a parasite and host, and at the apex there is the environment. Now if environment is suitable to the parasite, the disease will take place on the host. And if the environment is suitable to the host will be formed and the disease will not appear. You can say that तराजू के दो पलड़े होते हैं. एक तरफ अगर environment ऐड हो जाए, होस्ट की तरफ ऐड हो गया तो होस्ट स्ट्रॉन्ग हो जाएगा, डिजीज नहीं होगी. और अगर पैरासाइट की तरफ एनवायरमेंट आ गया तो होस्ट जो है वो हल्का हो जाएगा एंड डिजीज हो जाएगी. So disease will take place when there is an interaction between host and parasite, but during this interaction the environment plays a very important role. If the environment is suitable for host, the disease will not take place. If the environment is suitable for parasite, the disease will take place. So it means that environment also plays a very important role. That's why in the disease development there are three partners. One of the partners is environment, which is most important. Another is the host also and the parasite also. So all these three parameters are important as far as the disease development is concerned. Now environment plays an important role where it has to expose the host. That's why the first stage in the development of disease is predisposition factors. You got the disease. आपको cold कब होता है? You got the cold when you are exposed with the difference of temperature. गर्मी सर्दी का जब डिफरेंस आपको एक्सपोज होते हैं, then you got the cold, and that is called as a predisposition factor. Means the host is being exposed to certain environmental conditions which makes it vulnerable for the parasite plus the disease. The next is inoculation. Means how the inoculum will reach to the host, what type of the inoculum is there, and how it reaches over there. That is called as an inoculation. The third is the penetration. Means how the host के अंदर parasite penetrate करता है, enter करता है. What are the means by which it enters? What are the ways through which it enters inside the host? We'll take it in detail one by one. Then there is infection. Infection means how the growth of the pathogen takes place in the susceptible tissue after penetration. And next is growth and reproduction. That is respective and specific to the particular pathogen. Then their dissemination from healthy host to the infected host to the healthy host, and then last is overwintering or oversummering. So we'll take one by one. Just look into how the disease develops. If the fruit is healthy, slowly and slowly as the disease will develop and pathogen will grow, the shape of the fruit will change. And ultimately the fruit will become totally infected by the pathogen and it will be useless to take. जिसको accept नहीं कर सकते. So initially there will be a very small symptoms. Since beginning just look into. शुरुआत में अगर आप देखिए तो आप पाएंगे कि यहाँ पर इस समय there is a lot of development of pathogen on the outer surface also. So inner side से पूरी तरह rot हो चुके हैं. But young stage पर जब disease नहीं होती तब छोटे छोटे spots होंगे. Slowly and slowly the disease will develop and whole of the fruit will become useless. So we start first factor, which is predisposition factor. What are those factors which are suitable for the development of disease for the different hosts? इसका मतलब अलग-अलग host के लिए अलग-अलग environmental condition होंगी जो suitable होंगी. There are different type of environmental conditions which are suitable for the development of growth. Now, environment favors the pathogen and this favors the host, then there is a disease. Now, environmental factors which plays an important role is soil temperature, how it changes, and the soil temperature will change with the irrigation water. Normally the soil is a buffer zone, so temperature will change with the irrigation and so the moisture also. That is the pH of the soil, wind velocity, light, because the light will indirectly affect the temperature, and the nutrient of the soil. These are important factors, although there are many other factors also which are specific to a particular pathogen. हर पैथोजन के लिए अलग-अलग specific environmental conditions होंगी. So they are different, and we will look into the different environmental conditions when you write about the monograph. Now, above all these factors, not only affect at the development of disease, but each and every step of the disease also. Each of every step means that at the stage of the growth of pathogen, the stage at the sporulation of pathogen, the stages at the stage of infection and dissemination of pathogen, and different pathogens have the different environmental condition in which they will grow. For example, if you look into, you take the Fusarium wilt, which causes the Pathogenesis design. It requires a warm temperature, that is a temperature between 26 to 30 degrees Celsius. If the environmental temperature is 26 to 30 degrees Celsius, that is little warm temperature, the Fusarium will cause the wilt on Pathogenesis design. But you look into the Verticillium wilt, it also causes the wilt in the same way as causes the Fusarium. But the Verticillium wilt will take place at a temperature of 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. It means the temperature requirement for both the wilt are different. It clearly shows that different pathogen requires the different environmental condition for the development of disease. So Fusarium wilt is at the warm temperature, whereas Verticillium wilt at the low temperature. Similarly, if you look into Puccinia, Puccinia has a great variation into the temperature and environmental condition. If it is uridospores, they are formed at the temperature of 24 degrees Celsius, means in the warm temperature in February and March. They are being producing the uridospores, but if you look into the teliospores, the temperature required is only 20 degrees Celsius, means it is little earlier. Nowadays temperature, January end and February, that is the temperature which is suitable for the formation of teliospores. You look into the germination of the spores, they require very low temperature, that is 8 to 15 degrees Celsius. So if the germination of the spores takes place early in the morning, when the temperature is about 8 to 15 degrees Celsius, it means that as soon as the temperature raises from 15 to 20, the germ tube will die. That's why I told you there is a functional resistance in certain varieties of wheat, where the stomata opens late in the morning when the temperature becomes about 20 degrees Celsius. So अगर stomata 20 डिग्री पे open हो रहा है late in the morning and the spores are germinating at the early, that is about 8 to 15 degrees Celsius, germ tube will get died at about 20 degrees Celsius, and that variety of wheat is functionally resistant to the Puccinia. Similarly, germination of spores, penetration temperature are different, and that depends on the light and dark period also. If the light is more, temperature will be more, because light indirectly affects the temperature. Light जो है वो indirectly affect करती है temperature को, और जैसे जैसे light बढ़ती जाएगी temperature increase करता चला जाएगा. And accordingly, the different spores will have the optimum temperature for their activity. Similarly, wind also affects their dissemination, because in pathogenesis we are also concerned with the dissemination. So each and every step of pathogenesis, there is involvement of the environmental condition in that development of disease, the stage of the development of disease. Likewise, reduced light predispose the host for disease like root rot. If the light is less, then the root rot, citrus character, leaf spots, they are important to cause the disease. ये सारी diseases low light intensity पर increase करती हैं लो लाइट इंटेंसिटी पर पैथोजेंस एक्टिव होते हैं and they cause the disease. From these two examples, it's clear that every pathogen at every stage of pathogenesis requires a different environmental condition, and that is one of the most important parameters in the development of disease. So once you will write the monograph, you will also write the environmental conditions for that particular pathogen. Environmental conditions क्या है? What these environmental conditions are playing an important role. So you have seen that whether it is waste, there are different temperatures. If it is rust or oxygen, the different spores require a different temperature for their activity. So the disease will take place in a different way. Now similarly, you see the severity of club root disease of cabbage. It is 100% at a pH of 5.7. अभी temperature की बात देखी. Now this is the thing where how the pH affects. So this club root disease of cabbage is 100% severe if the temperature, if the pH is 5.7. But if the temperature is raised to 6.2, that is only 0.5 temperature is increased, the intensity of the disease is only 20%. That means pH plays a very important role in causing the disease. अगर pH 5.7 है, then the disease intensity is 100%. Means each and every plant can get the disease if the pathogen is present. Or you can say every pathogen is viable that can cause the disease. But if the temperature, if the pH is raised to the 6.2, that is 0.5 only, so there is a fall of the disease intensity up to the 20% only. Means 80% disease intensity is reduced. So it is one of the control of disease by a modification of the environmental factors. So it is physical control of disease. Simply with change, if you add the certain fertilizers into the soil, the pH will decrease, change. And with the change in the pH, the intensity of the disease will also change. In the case of club root disease of cabbage. Similarly, potato scab. It is more severe at the pH range from 5.7 to 8.2. Just see. One of the club root is very sensitive to 0.5 pH, but this potato scab is not sensitive to the pH. It can take place at a wide range of pH. 5.7 to 8.2 means from acidic to alkali both. It can cause the disease. Phytophthora infestans, another example, which causes the late blight potato, caused by pythium. That is damping of seedlings. Pythium also causes the damping of seedlings. Phytophthora causes the late blight of potato. They are more severe if the water or moisture content is high. Or you know very well that potato के लिए we give the water with the certain drain lanes. Drain lanes बनाते हैं और drain lanes में पानी fill up कर दिया जाता है. And so the moisture content is more. So once because these both organisms, Phytophthora and Pythium, they have the juice spores which are bioflagellate. So they swim from one place to another place by juice spores. So they require water, more moisture content. That's why both of these pathogens or both of these diseases, that what are the factors, what are the conditions which will favor the inoculation. Now inoculum किसे कहेंगे? What is inoculum? It is, what is inoculum? A smallest propagule of pathogen which is necessary for development of disease. किसी भी पैथोजन का छोटा से छोटा पार्ट और वो हिस्सा जिससे डिजीज शुरू होती है, that is called as an inoculum. Then inoculum we look into, it is the smallest propagule of pathogen which is responsible to initiate the disease. Now inoculum may be of two kinds, primary and secondary. Now both the type of inoculum is responsible for the different stages of the disease development. For example, primary inoculum, it is for the first time initiate the disease. आदत डालिए टाइम से आने की, and time is 10:30. So primary inoculum, means which is for the first time responsible to initiate the disease, that is called as the primary inoculum. And the secondary inoculum is which is for the second crop of inoculum, that is second crop of opacule of the pathogen which is responsible to spread the disease. So both the type of inoculum has a different work to perform. The primary inoculum is to initiate the disease and the secondary inoculum is to spread the disease. For example, if you look into in case of vaccinia or in the case of rust, from where the opacule comes? From air. So first primary inoculum is a spore which is coming from the air, and the secondary inoculum is also the spore which is spread from the spore, or is spread from air. It means primary and secondary inoculum are almost the same, which is spread from air or which comes from air to contact to the host. But if you look at the example of smut, smut के केस में क्या है? The primary inoculum is present in the soil. That is the mycelium of the fungus or their resting spores which are present in the soil. So primary infection is through the root or through the lower part of the stem. Now once the primary inoculum causes the disease, initiates the disease, and the host is completely having the disease, then the secondary inoculum is the smut spores which are present in the cereals, into the inflorescence, where grain ki jagah there is the formation of smut spores, and secondary inoculum is spreading to the healthy host by air. So primary and secondary inoculum have the different conditions to move and different places where they are present. That's why primary and secondary inoculum is important. Primary inoculum will always initiate the disease, whereas the secondary inoculum will spread the disease from one host to another host. That is the infected host to healthy host. And the smut is the most very good example for it. Where the smut, in the case of smut, the primary inoculum is the spores or mycelium which is present into the soil, which initiates the disease through the root or through the lower part of the stem. Whereas smut, the secondary inoculum is the spores which are present in the inflorescence, and they are spreading from one host to another host or from infected host to a healthy host by air. So inoculum is very important, and inoculum kinds are also important, how they spread. Now second is the source of inoculum kahan se aayega? Where is the source? Naturally the source may be three most important sources which are responsible to take the pathogen to the host. That is air. For example, you can take the rust, they are all moving through the air. Even you can take dairy cycling, which causes the powdering mildews of wheat. So powdering mildews are also moving through the air. But you take the soil, then the wind and smuts, they move through the soil. So the movement of inoculum source of inoculum is soil in the case of smut and wilt both. Because wilt infection will take place through the root. Smut infection will also take place through the root. Then water is also important source, especially where the water is more needed. For example, that late ripe potato or all the diseases responsible for potato, black water potato also. So black water potato, which is caused by syncytium, or the phytophthorid pestons, which causes the disease of late ripe potato, there the inoculum is moving through the water. So here in the case of inoculation, we are concerned with the type of inoculum, and the second, the source of inoculum. And third, which is important, is that how the inoculum is being favored, which are the conditions which are being favored by inoculum. So if you take the inoculum, the same environmental condition which you have studied in the predisposal factor, like high wind velocity is better for rust. जितनी wind velocity ज़्यादा होगी, rust का movement healthy host पर infected host से ज़्यादा होगा. So in the same way that conditions are also required, environmental conditions are required for inoculum also. It means that inoculum has reached to the host. Now next step in the host pathogen relationship is that how this inoculum is inoculated from which place to the host. कैसे inoculate करता है? It means that it is a contact of pathogen with the host. That is arrival of pathogen on the host. Now this is the contact. Now contact may we've already discussed it. Next is inoculation. Inoculation is a step which is involved in landing, arrival of inoculum on the host. Arrival is again by same thing, wind, water and vector. Here the vector plays also an important role. Because once a inoculum comes in the vicinity of field, how it will reach to the host surface, how it is being trapped by the host surface. And there the condition of the host is also important along with the germination. Suppose the host is hairy, it will be trapped within the hairs, and so the inoculum will remain present over there. If the host is glossary, then the inoculum cannot stay or retain on the surface of host. Host के surface पर retain नहीं करेगा. Now the stomata का shape कैसा है? If the stomata is upper uplift type, pore is on upper side, then the inoculum can slip down. If it is sunken, then they remain present within the vicinity of the stomata. Because entry will take place through the germinal surface or through natural opening. So these vector is playing a very important role, and the landing or arrival of inoculum by the vector is very important. It is built, but temperature required is low. Fusarium, it is again the built, but the temperature required is more. Puccinia is of low temperature disease, but the requirement of temperature, the different places or different kinds of spores is different. So everywhere you are looking, that environment is playing a very important role. Until unless the environment is not suitable to the pathogen, the disease will not take place. Maybe the pathogen is present in the vicinity of field, maybe the pathogen is present on host. The similar is also the case with your diseases. Maybe that virus is present in your body, but you don't have the viral fever. Maybe the virus is present in causing the cold, but you are not getting the cold every time. The cold you get only when your body is exposed to the temperature change. So environment is playing a very important role at every stage of the development of disease.